Hello, my movers, my shakers, and my creators, and welcome back to your Inclusionary Bedtime story. I am Shannon, and I am so happy that you are here after another incredible, amazing, wonderful, stupendous, fabulous, inclusive day at Forward Movement. My assistant, Wendy, is back to help us read our second book, Debbie Allen's Dancing in the Wings. Debbie Allen is a world-famous director, choreographer, and TV producer. She's really done it all. Today's little book with a big idea, Dancing in the Wings, was actually inspired by Debbie Allen's own experience as she was getting her dance training as a young girl. You see, it's easy for us to look at someone who is as successful in their career like Debbie Allen and say, things have always been so easy for them, or they must have had a different start than I did. She didn't. She worked just like you. She worked hard in her classes. She worked hard to be the best person and most creative person that she could be. And she also worked hard to overcome those voices in her head telling her that she wasn't good enough. Because as we'll see in Dancing in the Wings, Debbie Allen didn't always necessarily love everything about her body that made her so special and unique. But I'll let Debbie Allen tell you herself while we read Debbie Allen, Dancing in the Wings, with pictures by Kadir Nelson. Ever since I was born and could see everywhere I looked, I saw dance. In the clouds as the wind blew them across the sky, in the ripples on a pond, even in the sea of ants marching up and down their hill. Dance was all around me. Dance was me. My mom calls me sassy because I like to put my hands on my hips and because I always have something to say. Well, if you had feet as big as mine, you'd understand why. You should join the swimming team since you got those long toes and you don't need any fins, my older brother Huey teased. I shot right back. At least I don't have that big forehead looking like a street lamp. And Mama said, stop all that bad talk. Huey, your big head is a sign of intelligence. And sassy, your big feet will make your legs look longer and prettier in your ballet shoes. My legs were longer, all right. So long that when I went to Tondu point my toe at the bar, I tripped Miss Catherine, our teacher, who was coming down the line looking the other way. Splat! She landed under the piano, her legs up in the air. Ooh! It was so funny. Even she had to laugh. Sassy, she called out. I'm going to tie big orange bows on those big feet. Sorry, Miss Catherine, I answered, but if you don't wear your glasses, you still won't see them. One thing for sure, because of my long legs and my big feet, I could jump higher and spin faster than anybody else. I was taller than the rest of the kids at school, even the boys. At our recitals, all the other girls got to dance solos and duets and wear pretty tutus. I was too big for the boys to pick up and too tall to be in line with the other girls. So I just watched from backstage, dancing in the wings, hoping that if I just kept dancing and trying, it would be my turn to dance in the spotlight. One day, at the end of ballet class, Miss Catherine announced, Mr. Debato from the Russian school is coming next week to look for talented young people for the Summer Dance Festival in Washington, D.C. The whole room turned into a whirlpool of excitement as the sign-up sheet was posted. Everyone wanted to try, especially me. But as I wrote my name down, I heard two girls Molly and Mona giggle.
Look who's signing up.
Mona said, "Oh, please, she'll never make it. They said talent, not a Tyrannosaurus." My heart seemed to stand still. For once, I had nothing to say. I couldn't hide the tears that were welling up in my eyes, so I just grabbed my dance bag and I ran to the parking lot. I heard a familiar horn honk and turned to see my Uncle Red in his bright green pickup truck. Uncle Red had the whitest, tight, curly hair, smelled of cigars, and every day wore something red. Why, of all days, did Mama have to send him to pick me up? Why today? I was not in the mood for his jokes or his stories, but I quickly tried to dry my eyes and smile. "I got a good one for you today, Sassy. What did the banana say to the monkey?" "Split." Ha ha. Get it? Split. Banana split. I started to cry. "Sassy, what's wrong?" he asked. I told him what had happened. "I'm just so much taller than the other dancers, Uncle Red." "Sassy," he said, "you gotta look at that as a gift. Being tall means you can see all around, so you can always find the right path to take." "No," I said. "It means I'll stick out like a big acne bump on somebody's nose. I'll never get to dance. It's a waste of time even going to that audition." "Listen, gal," said Uncle Red. "If I were as tall and pretty as you, I wouldn't need to wear red so people know it's me coming and going. All you gotta do to make your mark on this world is walk into a room." By the time I got home, Uncle Red had cheered me up and he had me laughing and feeling better. As I got out of his truck, he waved goodbye, calling out, "Make your mark, gal." Huey and his football friends stopped playing. Huey yelled out, "Hey, Sassy, why don't you come play with us? We need a goalpost."
Sassy, a goalpost.
His mean,
Sassy
little,
is a goalpost.
ugly friends laughed. Boy, did that make me mad. "Sure, if we can use your big head for the ball," I shouted back. His friends screamed with laughter.
Use your head for the ball.
Huey got so mad he just turned red, looking like a tomato with that big head. We were just about to go at each other when Mama called us inside. That night, I lay awake, staring out my window and thinking about Uncle Red's words. I could see myself dancing on the Milky Way, swirling like a twinkling shooting star. The next thing I knew, I was talking to myself out loud. I'm going to that audition, big feet and all. On the day of the tryouts, kids came from all over the city. It was so crowded. Everyone was expected to wear black, but like Uncle Red, I picked my own color. Bright yellow. And instead of standing in the back, I squeezed between Molly and Mona right in the front row. I ignored their snickering. Miss Catherine came in and introduced Mr. Debato. Everyone applauded. Boy, was he short. He couldn't have been any more than 4 feet 9 inches tall. He started walking down the rows, pacing back and forth, just looking at us. Then he stopped in front of me and he said, Young lady, why are you wearing that loud yellow leotard? I need to put on sunglasses to see anybody else. Please go to the back row.
Molly whispered, "See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya."
At least he noticed me, I snapped. I put my hands on my hips and I walked to the back. The first round of the audition was center floor exercises. Mr. Debato walked around prodding and poking, making corrections. He stopped once and looked right at me. But he didn't say a thing. I held my breath as he dismissed almost half the kids after the first round. But not me. Next was the adagio, the slow section. So I stood as close to Mona as I could get and whispered, "Your skinny, short legs are gonna look like chicken wings next to mine."
"I'd rather look like a chicken than a turkey like you with that long neck," she answered.
"Talk to the hand," I told her. I took my leg up so high it got stuck. Luckily, I could balance on my other big foot, so I just held it until Mr. Debato remarked, "Young lady, the exercise is finished." "Oh!" I jumped out of position.
"Show off."
Molly grunted. "Gobble, gobble." Mona imitated a turkey. Then came the leaps across the floor. I took off like Jackie Joyner-Kersee in the long jump at the Olympics. With one leap, I sailed in the air past the other girls. Molly and Mona watched, looking pea-green with envy. When I finished, Mr. Debato yelled, "Young lady, you must learn to dance to the music. Up on the count of 1, down on the count of 3. 3, not 5. You have the rhythm of a troglodyte. Again." I was crushed. As I passed Mona to get back into line, she said,
"Next time, bring your big butt down by 3.
"Your mama," I said. Oh, did I wish I was a wizard. I'd turn them into 2 big fat frogs in tutus trying to hip hop. By the end of the day, there were only 7 of us left. And Mr. Debato called out everyone's name except for mine and asked them to step forward. Standing alone, I really had to fight to hold back my tears. And then I heard him say, "Thank you all for coming today. Keep working, keep trying. You are dismissed." Mr. Debato said to me, "Sassy, you have a great deal of potential. You have beautiful long arms and legs, but you flail about with no control. You must learn to use your feet better. And timing. We have a lot of work to do when you come to Washington this summer. But please leave that loud yellow leotard at home. All you need to do to be noticed is walk into a room." Dismissed. He walked out. Jumping and shouting, I ran to the parking lot. I made it! Mama! I made it! And guess who was there to pick me up? Mama and Uncle Red. Huey, half of his football team piled into the back of the green truck on their way to a game. Everybody was so proud of me. Even Huey. "You go, Miss Bigfoot." "Thank you, Mr. Big Head," I said, and we all laughed. 1 month later, Mama and I boarded the plane for Washington, D.C. She held my hand as my heart pounded when we landed. At the school, there were young dancers from Russia, Mexico, France, China, Cuba, Brazil, New York, Texas, and long-legged me from Inglewood, California. In class the first day, Mr. Dubato introduced me to his 12-year-old protege, a boy named Dwight, who was 5 feet 10 inches tall. Dwight, I think I have found you a partner. Meet Sassy. Mama was right. Being tall wasn't so bad after all. And neither was having a big head. By the end of the summer, Huey had won the grand prize at space camp in Alabama. And I got to dance a duet with Dwight in the summer concert. When Dwight lifted me high in the air, I felt like I was dancing on the Milky Way. Me and my big feet, making my mark on the world. The end. What I love so much about this book is that Debbie Allen was so vulnerable and shared her story about how she felt that maybe her legs were too long or her feet were too big, that something about her was wrong and it needed to be fixed if she was going to succeed at ballet. And what wound up happening? Instead, she used those things to her advantage. She embraced who she was and how the dancing looked on her body rather than trying to be somebody else. Now you may be asking yourself, how is Debbie Allen like Sassy, our prima ballerina? In our story, Sassy thinks that her legs are too long and her feet are too big, and that's going to stop her from studying. But what Debbie Allen experienced wasn't necessarily about her feet and her legs. It was her skin. She was told that she could not dance at the Houston Foundation for Ballet because she was black. But that didn't stop her from auditioning. And finally, in 1964, she was admitted to the Houston Foundation for Ballet. And she was the first black student, which meant that she, at 14 years old, desegregated that entire school. And that discrimination that she faced as a little girl inspired her to give back to students, to make sure that they have opportunities that she did not have growing up. When someone asked her, "Why do you still mentor students after achieving so much in your career?" she said, "Because I'm still that little girl who wanted to be a ballerina, but who couldn't go to the ballet school because they weren't accepting black kids." And something that she told the students that she was mentoring and inspiring is something I want to share with you now. And I want you to carry it through the rest of Forward Movement and maybe for the rest of your dancing lives. Debbie Allen said, "Don't be compromised by anyone at the front of the room telling you that you can't. I'm telling you that you can. What am I telling you? That you can." And someone who fought so hard to get an education understands how important it is for you to get an education. Any kind of education you want, including in dance and the arts. So what can we take away from all of the wonderful things that we know about Debbie Allen and all of the things that Sassy had to fight through to make sure that she got that dance education she wanted? Well, with Sassy, she had to get out of her own way. She was the one that was going to stop her from going to that audition. And once she found confidence in herself by turning to her support network, which was her family, she was able to accomplish whatever she wanted. Think about your support network. Who can you turn to when you feel like you need a boost to get over a really big obstacle? Because your support network is big, and what we can learn from Debbie Allen is everything. But she wants you to know that you can. And if you have someone standing at the front of a room telling you that you can't, hear those voices in your head of all of your friends, your support network, and Debbie Allen telling you that you can. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and get a good night's sleep and rest. Until tomorrow, my movers, my shakers, and my creators. I will see you soon. Bye.